News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 98.3 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
The state budget passes another hurdle. Good morning, everyone. Montana Morning starts now. It's Tuesday, April 4th, 2017. The sky's cloudy. It's 30 degrees. A newscast this morning sponsored by Selway Armory on Stockyard Road. They've got more guns and ammo than anyone at Missoula. The best prices in Montana, Montana's premier firearms dealer. The Montana Senate has endorsed its version of the 2018-2019 state budget. Yesterday's initial vote was 29-20. The bill must pass a final vote before it goes back to the House, and then a conference committee where negotiators will hammer out the final numbers. Relatively few additions were made during yesterday's day-long floor debate. Democratic lawmakers failed to gain the support to insert money for home health caregivers, child protection service workers, higher education, and a preschool grant program. The Republican-led legislature is seeking to shore up a budget shortfall and leave at least $200 million in reserve in 2019, the end of the two-year budget cycle. Lawmakers are doing so mainly through spending cuts, while Democrat Governor Steve Bullock is urging fewer cuts plus tax hikes to leave a $300 million ending fund balance. No charges have yet been filed. However, Missoula Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh says detectives are investigating the events that led to multiple bite marks on an infant at a Missoula daycare. The child's parents say video of the event revealed another 2-year-old bit their baby girl 8 to 10 times on the cheeks and neck, and they believe the drop-in daycare is at fault.
We actually took a report very early Saturday morning when a young couple came into the police department and reported that their 7-month-old infant had been apparently bitten. The officer who spoke with the couple did an initial report articulating their description, and that has since been assigned to a detective.
Many have called for the police to investigate the daycare itself for inappropriate standards, but the Department of Child and Family Services would have to conduct that search or that investigation. Welsh said they have been notified about the incident, though.
The Missoula Police Department is not involved in investigating the business at all, but rather the incident that was reported and the surrounding circumstances that may have occurred before. Basically, in a case like this, what they're looking for, the threshold they have to meet is to show probable cause that somebody intended to cause injury to this baby, either through a direct act or through negligence.
The family has circulated a petition to close down the drop-in daycare, which now has over 2,700 signatures. The Montana Department of Justice is entering the state's backlog of rape kits into a new system that will track and monitor the status of the kits. The Independent Record reports several sexual assault kits from eastern Montana arrived in Helena this week to be logged into the tracking system. The state has an estimated 1,400 rape kits that have yet to be tested. The use of the tracking system comes after the state received over $2.2 million in grants to pay for testing and maintain an inventory of the kits and then track them as they are tested. To help whittle away at the backlog, the state has asked the 10 largest jurisdictions to send 30 kits each to the FBI for testing. A regular traffic stop took a bad turn early yesterday morning when the driver fled and a chase began. According to Missoula County Sheriff's Department Public Information Officer Brenda Bassett, there were 3 people in the suspect vehicle.
At about 4:37, a deputy initiated a traffic stop near Sherwood and Burns. While that deputy was collecting IDs from the driver and the passengers, the car fled. Went through several Missoula City streets and lasted till about 4:45 when the vehicle hit an unoccupied parked car.
Bassett said no one was injured in the crash, but the chase did not stop there.
The driver took off on foot, as did the passenger in the back seat of the vehicle. Officers were able to apprehend and take into custody 25-year-old Rand Heath. He's going to be charged with a number of things, including DUI, possession of drug paraphernalia, criminal endangerment, fleeing or leading a peace officer. He also didn't have a license or any insurance.
Deputies took ID and spoke with a female that was in the vehicle. She will not be facing charges. The passenger that fled from the back seat is still on the loose, though, and is wanted for questioning. However, Bassett says, quote, the public is not in any danger, end quote. While a global glut of wheat has many farmers abandoning wheat, Montana growers intend to plant more this year. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's annual prospective plantings report said farmers nationwide plan to plant the fewest acres of wheat in a century. However, the Billings Gazette reports Montana farmers plan to grow 200,000 more acres. of wheat this year after shifting 1.2 million acres to other crops since 2014. Montana is the fourth biggest wheat producer in the nation. Today's Equal Pay Day, and a group called the National Partnership for Women and Families is pointing out what would happen if women were paid on an equal basis with men. Director of Workplace Policy Sarah Flink said the statistics are plain for all to see.
Women in Montana are paid 73 cents for every dollar paid to men, which amounts to an annual wage gap of $12,680. So that's the number for Montana, 73 cents on the dollar.
Flink expands on the inequities in the workplace.
On average, a working woman in Montana would have enough money for 18 additional months of child care, 2 additional years of tuition and fees for a 4-year public university, or the full cost of tuition and fees at a 2-year community college. She would have 85 more weeks of food for her family, or 9.6 more months of mortgage and utilities payments.
Flink said her organization is urging Montana residents to contact their congressional delegation and support the Paycheck Fairness Act, as well as their local representatives to address the issue of equal pay for women on today's Equal Pay Day. Authorities in northwestern Montana have released the name of a 39-year-old Anchorage, Alaska man who was killed in a one-vehicle crash on the Flathead Reservation. Lake County Sheriff Don Bell said Jerry Mayo Hammond died in the crash late March 30th in Arlee. The Highway Patrol said Hammond and a 43-year-old Pablo man were in a vehicle, went off the road, struck a fence and overturned. Both men were thrown from the vehicle. Hammond was crushed underneath. Well, if you want to see cats, Bozeman is the place to go. Not just for college sports, though. This year, the 70th anniversary of the Shrine Circus is in Missoula, which will be in town on Friday. However, according to Shriners spokesman Hal Gillette, no lions and tigers, no elephants on display after, of course, the ban on exotic animals by the Missoula City Council last year.
Everything is ready to go. It's not just like normal. If you call having lions and cats on the scene, we won't have those this year, but it's still going to be a lively affair, and there'll be rides for the kids, high wire act, everything that the circus provides except for the elephants and the tigers.
Elephants and tigers were performing at the Shrine Circus in Bozeman last week, though. Missoula advertisement for the Jordan World Circus on the radio still mentions that there will be exotic animal acts, but the most exotic will be trained dogs.
Same circus group. Just so happens that we're the only city in Montana that won't be having elephants and the cats. They wanted to have us find a place that they could store them, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard that the county had offered the fairgrounds out here to store the elephants.
The closest Shriners Hospital, where all the money goes, is in Spokane, and of course they're urging people to go to the circus anyway, just to support the Shriner and the Shrine Hospital. Even though there's no exotic animals, no elephants, no lions, no tigers. Thanks. News Talk time now, 6:13.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Patchy freezing fog this morning. Otherwise, ample sunshine with our high temperatures warming into the low 50s. Increasing clouds tonight with our lows right around the freezing mark. Highs near 60 degrees on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.